Hey there, gamers. Welcome to the Secret Levels podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to go visit our mother, who lives on Earth. What game am I talking about? Stay tuned and find out.
I'm party member number 1, Toby.
I'm party member number 2, Goose.
And we've got some extra party members.
Yeah, our party's not fully rounded. We need a mage and a white mage. We need tons of mages.
Please introduce yourselves, party members 3 and 4.
Party member number 3 reporting for duty here. This is Will from the Days Past Tooncast.
And party member number 4, Travis, also from the Days Past Tooncast. Howdy.
Yeah, Will and Travis are on the show, folks. Party members, member up.
A new challenger joins the battle.
Here comes a new challenger!
Oh, you know our sound effects, sir.
Yep. I'm imagining everything you guys are going to put in later.
What do you mean? It's playing right now. It was all really cool. Don't look behind that curtain.
I won't.
Yeah,
Promise.
You're going to get blinded.
Thank you so much for having us on, guys.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for picking one of the longest games that we've ever played on the show.
Yep, and thank you for entertaining our earlobes with your wonderful, wonderful show.
Of course.
We'll stop blowing each other soon enough.
Only when I'm finished.
Yeah, give me one more second.
Could you tell us about your show a little bit before we get started?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The Days Past Tooncast is a podcast that Travis and I have been doing for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
And the idea is we're going to watch cartoons from the past. You might call them yesterday's
Animations.
That's right. And we have adult conversations about them because we will use cuss words. We're willing to use them. We'll use them if we have to.
Yeah.
And we're going to just make
If
some
forced
jokes.
to.
Like a
If forced
threat.
to, we will do it.
I do have them in my back pocket.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about them for approximately 45 minutes these days and make our jokes about them and just have a good time. It's a launch pad for comedy.
Yes.
These cartoons of
100%.
yesteryear. Everything from TMNT to He-Man to shit you wish you never heard of.
Moo Mesa.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I used to have those toys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Toby, you were a Moo Mesa fan, weren't you?
I did watch. I watched all the crappy Saturday morning cartoons, and I have lots of nostalgia for all of them. Street Sharks,
Yep.
SWAT Cats.
Jossum.
Name
You
it.
just screamed
I loved
Jossum.
it.
Well, it's funny because we have a Street Sharks episode coming out very
Yep.
soon. So you should definitely tune into
yeah.
that if you're a Street Shark fan.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm excited for it. Y'all got a really great show, and I feel like we kind of do the same thing with just
Different the shit.
Yeah.
with different shit.
Definitely.
So it's kind of cool.
Do the same shit, just differently.
Well, and Toby, how is it that we came to know about each other's podcasts? Because this is actually Travis's doing on accident.
This is funny. So there's a store. I don't know how widespread it is. It's called Movie Trading Company, and I actually live about 30 minutes away from the store, but I frequent it pretty much. And I found y'all's sticker on the cash or by the cash register. Y'all had a bunch of free stickers, and I grabbed one. I was like, man, that's really cool marketing. So I took one, and then I listened to you guys, and I think I took a picture of it and tweeted it to you, like, look, I found you guys.
Yep.
It worked.
Yep.
And then I started listening, and I was like, damn, this worked out perfect.
For sure.
So
Yeah, since I came over, Will showed me that picture you had tweeted, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, man, that's great. But my only question is, did they remove our stickers and the platform? Because that's going to be a problem.
We have a
buddy.
hard time keeping those in the movie trading companies sometimes. So I'm very glad that it was there long enough for you to find
Heck
it.
yeah, that's awesome. It worked great.
yeah.
At least one person got it.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
It was worth the $8,000 spent on promotional materials.
That's right. Well, how about we start talking about the game
No.
that you picked for us
Yes.
on this episode?
I'll take the blame on that.
Someone has to.
Yes.
Someone has to. So we played Earthbound. Now, Earthbound was released in North America on June 5th, 1995. It was developed by Ape and HAL Laboratory. It wasn't HAL Laboratory yet, though. It was like Halkin. So I guess they used to be called Halkin or something like that. I can't remember. I forgot to write it down, but it was in my memory. This game was published by Nintendo, and it was released on the Super Nintendo originally, There's a Game Boy Advance port. It's been ported to the Virtual Consoles on Nintendo, and it was also released on the Super Nintendo Classic. This is a single-player role-playing game, and it's a long one. It's a really long one.
It has the feels.
Well, I saw that somebody had played through it in like 20 hours, so I don't know what anybody's complaining about.
I've seen someone play through it in 5.
I was going to say there has to be someone who sped through it, did a speed run of it.
Speedrunners can do it in under like 4 hours and 20 minutes.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
The legal weed. 420.
So do you want me to tell you the brief story on this game?
Yeah.
And I say brief, ironically.
Yeah,
it's only 3 hours.
It's a 3-hour story for a 5-hour game.
It's a breakdown.
So in the country of Eagle Land, a meteorite crashes near a boy's house named Ness. His neighbor Pokey asks to help find his brother, Picky, who went to look for the meteor. They find that the animals have turned evil and try to stop them. They find Picky and also the meteor. Out of the meteor, a small bee named Buzz comes out to tell you he comes from 10 years from the future. And in the future, all is devastated by an alien named Gygus, the universal cosmic destroyer. Buzz then tells Ness about a prophecy to stop Gygus, and how he thinks that Ness is the one to stop him, along with 2 other boys and a girl. As they begin...
But Buzz doesn't know squat.
He knows a little bit. Give him a little credit.
I was trying to make a funny pun there, fucker.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So, as they begin Ness's journey, the Starman Jr. from 10 years in the future tries to stop them.
Sorry. I love this game. It sounds ridiculous.
Oh yeah, no, it's just a wacky game. So anyways, the Starman Jr. from the future tries to stop Buzz and Ness, and they barely win the fight. Ness takes Pokey and Picky home, and where their mother sees Buzz and swats him down because he's already in a weakened state. And as he's dying, he tells Ness that there are 8 places he must visit to collect melodies in the Soundstone.
By the way, best scene ever in a video game.
It is good.
It goes on.
Yeah.
He's like, one more thing.
Yeah,
and then,
finally there, Ness. And then he's going off again.
Yeah. So Ness eventually meets up with Paula, Jeff, and Pooh, and they join his fight, and they try to stop Gygus. That's the very abbreviated version of the story. We're not going to go into super detail because there's so much to this game.
Yes. Like a lot of RPGs.
If you don't want to hear spoilers, you might as well just not listen. So we'll be talking a lot about what happens in this game, more than likely.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, this game could take you anywhere from 28 to 40 hours to complete, depending on how you play. So, speedrun.com has a glitchless record set by, this is my favorite username, Dr. Swellman, of 3 hours, 41 minutes, and 13
Holy
seconds.
shit. What? Wow. No glitches?
No glitches. So, this dude knows the game like the back of his hand.
That just seems impossible.
Not for Dr. Schloman.
Was it Swellman?
Yeah, Dr. Swellman.
Yeah, he's a Swellman. Yeah, Schwellman. That's a real name, I think. Yeah, Dr. Swellman. Wow, that's impressive.
You were close.
I wish I could talk to this guy and be like, okay, how many times have you played through this game to get it down to 3 hours and a 28-hour game in 3 hours and 41 minutes? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it almost seems like you would have to avoid almost every non-essential fight to to do that.
Yeah,
something.
I don't know.
Yeah, crazy.
And pee break.
Yeah, no pee breaks. Yeah,
every poop break, pee break, and everything. Yeah, all that's missed.
Okay, so let's start talking about some of the gameplay in this, because there's a lot to discuss.
There is.
So during the game, you explore villages, cities, caves, dungeons, all kinds of crazy places. You meet a lot of people, a lot of NPCs, which are non-playable characters, and everyone in this game has something actually funny to say.
Fuzzy pickles.
Yeah, let's touch on that real quick. About every 15 to 20 minutes that you're playing, if you're actually progressing and not just running around in circles, a man just out of nowhere comes and takes a picture. He just falls from the sky and he stops the screen.
I think there's 34 of them in total.
Oh my God.
It's a lot.
Well, he stops you and he makes you take a picture, and you're supposed to say fuzzy pickles because that's a funny word.
If this had been released on Dreamcast, you would have actually had to say it into the microphone for him to take the picture.
And then Seaman comes over and
exactly. And I don't know if you could have this character in a game today, a man who's just taking pictures on the street of children. I don't think they would allow that at this point.
And talking about fuzzy pickles.
Yeah, exactly.
What could possibly go wrong?
Say fuzzy pickle.
Yes. I almost hate to make that joke about this game.
Show up in a white van, though, then jump out.
There you go. Well, yeah, it would be a cautionary tale.
Yeah, you got to throw candy, too, at children.
Just throw it.
Throw it.
There you go, kid.
Just throw it at him while you take the picture.
Here is a present for you.
Distraction. Well, it's such a great payoff, though, at the end. That really got me when I finally beat it years after I first tried the game, that you get to see all those pictures at the end. And it really is like a little walk down memory lane.
Yeah, yeah. Especially after, putting in 20 some odd hours of this game. You're like, oh, yeah, I did this. I did that. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Beat the sharks.
That's a big thing to overcome at that point.
Right.
Oh, it's a huge thing. I fucking hate those guys.
Yeah, there's that contributed to the rage factor for me on this big time.
Definitely. They're dicks.
Yeah, they're assholes, and they were very difficult to fight when I first played this game.
Before we touch more on the gameplay here, did you guys name your party anything like particular? Or did you name them just like the normal names?
I just left them the normal names.
I named them after my family, because I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah, aww.
Because Goobs, you got
Goobs.
Jenny, Zimmy, and then Toby was one of them. Not the dog.
Yes. Was I Pooh?
Yeah, you were Pooh.
Yes. That makes sense.
I think I took a similar approach because I played this game a number of times. The first time I played it, I think I didn't have a lot of RPG experience yet, so I would name characters whatever I thought I wanted to name them, probably family members or something. But over time, I became more of a purist where it's like, if I'm playing FF7, it has to be Cloud, Antifa, and et cetera, et cetera. And the same thing in this game. I just left it as was.
Well, if I was playing this when the game first came out, they would have been like shithead, dick sucker.
Or just like dick sucker. Because you wouldn't have enough room for dick sucker, I think.
Dick suit.
Yeah.
DCK, SCK?
Yeah. Yeah, you would find a way around it.
Oh, definitely. I always find a way around dick sucking.
Well, that's true.
I have to admit it.
So do you want to talk about the battle system in this game? Because it's kind of like your typical RPG game, but it's slightly different. I don't know too many games that have this kind of battle system. It is a turn-based battle system. You select your attack or whatever, a defense, and if your stats are better, you'll attack first or, whatever.
Yeah, your speed and all that stuff comes into play. Your guts.
Yeah, it's your typical RPG type of game. You have a physical attack, a psychic attack, defend, items, and run. And there's something that's really cool. There's auto battle.
Yep.
I love auto battle.
Yeah, when you get tired of mashing A over and over and over again, then auto battle is your friend for sure.
So what? That's just cruise control for this part?
Yes.
Kind of, yeah, pretty
Nice,
much.
okay.
Well, yeah, when you're playing this many, especially as you've played this type of game and you get into newer games, coming back to these role-playing games, it's a real test of patience on my part to play through 10 battles in a row where I'm just pressing A and selecting pretty much just a physical attack. Hit the guy with the damn baseball again, please. And then, and it'll do it for you if you're doing that. But there's, some of the things it does different. For instance, you see the enemies on the screen before you get into the fight with them, which Chrono Trigger kind of did that, but it's still a very different system. In this case, you see them, they run towards you if they're less powerful than you, and then you get into the fight. If they get behind you when they touch you,
Phrasing?
they have the advantage when it starts. If you're behind them when you touch them, you have the advantage. And then eventually, if you're powerful enough, they just run away from you because they don't want to fight you.
Yeah, you can get the green ring, which is like the one where you approach from the back. The red ring if they get you from behind.
Right.
And then, they can just run.
Yeah.
Now, there's also something really cool with that. If you're way stronger than them and you touch them, you just battle
beat them.
Like you just beat them.
It's a forfeit. They just say, you know what? I'm not even going to do it.
It's so cool. I love that. It makes the grinding a little bit easier.
Yes.
When you're trying to level up your character. I think that's a really cool thing, and I don't think it's in too many RPGs that I've ever played anyways. And it's so
Yeah,
So handy.
It is.
No, I've never experienced that before.
Yeah, I don't remember it any of the like. I played a lot of SquareSoft games growing up, so like it definitely wasn't any of those.
It wasn't in Solitaire. I never saw that in my Solitaire
Definitely
game.
It wasn't in Doom.
Pokemon.
Yeah, it wasn't in Pokemon.
Because like that's what the battles. Like I'm a big Pokemon guy, and that's what the battle system reminded me of. Because I've never played this game, so I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like Pokemon. I can fuck with this. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But the enemies you're fighting, it's like, what the hell am I fighting right now, man?
There's so many enemies in this, and you'll
Crow.
fight anything from a stop sign to a car. You'll fight
A tent.
all
I heard a
kinds of
tent,
crazy stuff.
right? And there's a tent, you battle?
You'll fight basically just like a living fart at one point, I
Okay.
think. Like I wrote also the names of even if the character is not or the enemy is not especially interesting, they usually have funny names.
Right.
I wrote some of the ones that got me going were Master Belch. That's actually a boss that you deal with who's just like a vomit. But there was Putrid Moldy Man.
Okay.
How about this? Worthless Protoplasm. It makes me feel bad for the guy.
I don't
Mystical.
want to hit you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. When this is that, this inspired. I haven't played Undertale, but this is a big inspiration for that game. And that game,
Undertale's amazing.
I really want to play it now that I've been back into this Earthbound stuff. But I know in that game you can make friends with people, and in this game with the enemies, and in this game it feels like you almost could, because there's a lot of weird things that the enemies do in battles. Like sometimes they just forget what they're doing. they'll say like Handyman 1 was absent-minded, and so therefore he doesn't act during this turn. It's a really weird like that's something I loved about it early on, was just that you would not know what was going to happen in the battle a lot of the time.
Yeah. This game has a lot of character and charm. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I know
Tons of
that's kind of
quirkiness.
that's jumping ahead to like what my rating will be, but it really has so much character that you could almost do away with the story completely. Like it could just be open ended to where there's no story at all, and you could just run around town talking to the NPCs or anyone really, because it's just there's so much to it. It's a weird, wacky,
I mean, listen,
beautiful game.
anytime you got zombies and hookers there, I'm your guy. All right, I'm in it.
You'll clear them out, both of them.
I'm in it, buddy.
Yeah, you'll
Yep.
clean them for free.
Two favorite things on this world right there, buddy.
No, every corner, like in a lot of RPGs, if you talk to two guards, at least at the time, 16-bit RPGs, if you talk to two guards in the same castle, chances are they're going to say almost the same thing. That adds nothing.
Fuzzy
Not in
pickle?
this game.
No, not in this
not
game.
fuzzy, okay.
Everything somebody says is going to be interesting, funny, sometimes surprisingly deep. Because that's the other side of this game, or if not deep, then esoteric or even emotionally rousing.
Devastating.
Yeah, that too. Because there's some shit in here that's very, just the writing on it is excellent, and I know that some of that's the translation and the localization that they worked on really hard to get, like actually translate some of these abstract ideas.
Go inside your own fucking mind, man.
I know, it's so fucking cool. It's so great. I just love it because it brings the ridiculousness and the abstract and the absurd, and then also has this layer of like true childhood, but all the emotions of childhood, from like being just gleeful and silly to feeling
Becoming
really
a robot.
scared, and to becoming a robot all of a sudden. Yeah,
An emotionless robot.
adorable robots.
Thanks, Dad.
So some more about like the gameplay and stuff. You can equip like different items to your characters to make them stronger. It's got so many normal RPG elements. I mean, it is an RPG. You can eat food to regain health. You can take medicine. They have cold remedies because you do get colds in this game,
Yep.
which is funny. Now, we didn't talk during the battles. Well, two things. Some characters can pray, and they can you can regain health and stuff by letting some of the characters pray, which is kind of an oddball thing. But once you play the game, you're like, oh, okay, that all makes sense.
Praying's a big part of the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very touching. Like you beat the boss
I
by
found Jesus because of Earthbound.
good.
Hey, my 16 years of heroin abuse, done.
Yeah, it cured me.
Completely done. I'm just kidding.
You
I
just
still
lock
got it.
Isn't
addicts up in
every
a room.
rehab facility ever just Earthbound?
Yep.
Because it starts off like a big acid trip, but at the end you find God. It's just like, oh shit, this is my life.
Yeah. I think it might work.
I'm going to call my dad.
Because Dad keeps putting money into your account, right, to fund your rehab.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, let's. Real quick, I was going to touch on the rolling hit counter.
I
because
love that.
That's really unique.
Yeah.
you can get hit by an enemy and your counter just rolls for your health. And you can actually, if you get your turn before it rolls all the way down, you can heal before you die.
You can march
It's
a
really
burger,
cool.
man.
Yeah, it scrolls down, right? So gives
Yeah.
you some time to.
Yeah, whereas in like a Final Fantasy or something, you would just have the number come up and it
Yeah.
would just say you've subtracted this, like an instant thing. It's rolling almost like you're playing a slot machine. And so if you beat the battle, like before it gets to 0, or like Toby said, like if you heal it, then you can just fix the problem before you ever die.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really unique. It's really different. There's also each tack you have, you can learn like 3 different versions of it. So there's like the alpha and the beta, and then there's omega. So that's like the strongest attack that you can have, but it takes away from your PP, which is your power points, not
Toby
your
said
PP.
A game with both PP and poo in it.
Yes, there's lots of PP and poo in this game.
Lots of bodily functions.
Yeah. So when a character does die, though, you have to take them to the hospital to be revived.
They turn into a ghost.
Yeah. So when they die, they still follow you, but they're a little ghost sprite of their old selves.
An adorable
It's
little ghost.
really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It is. I mean, it's like you said. It's just a normal RPG on as far as functions go. A lot of it, but like all the things, instead of there being a wizard that raises you from the dead, you just go to the hospital. Which I guess we don't raise people from the dead in our hospitals, but it's still like this is the modern version of all these things. Like instead of a sword, you have a bat and all that stuff, and that makes it feel novel to me. I guess Persona does that.
It's like a kid that could go on an adventure. Like you got your bat here with your friends, and you found a meteor. It's like the Goonies, but fucking Earthbound.
Exactly.
Your friend has a frying pan that she whacks people with, so
Yep.
it's
Your psychic pal.
Bottle rockets and multi-bottle rockets, and your one guy, Pooh or Poe or whatever the fuck, has psychic abilities. He's amazing.
we're calling him Pooh because it's funnier, Goobs.
Okay.
Stick with it.
Goo. Goo. Goobs, I'm going to call you Goo now, apparently.
That's cool.
So you have to call your mother and your father from time to time. That is a big thing because you will get homesick if you don't call your mother, which it'll affect you in battle. Like you'll be like you'll skip a turn or something because you're homesick.
Is that one of those games called Mother on like over in Japan?
Well, I know the reasoning behind of where the name came from and why the dad is absent, because you never see your dad in the game. You just talk to him on the phone, and he's the one you call him to save your progress. And for some reason, when you win battles and stuff, he gets your money and he deposits it into an ATM, and then you have to withdraw it. That's one of the systems I don't really care for. But the creator of this game, his mother was the one that took care of him or something like that. His father wasn't around, and it's kind of has to do with his upbringing. So, yeah. It's a really deep game. It's a really, really deep
Well, I
game.
know the bad guy, like one of the developers, the final boss, it was from his nightmares. He had to go to a psychologist for and everything.
Yeah, it was because of there was a film in Japan that had a rape scene or something in it. And then the guy murders the girl after raping her, and he saw that as a kid, and that was like one of his. That was the Gygas battle at the end is supposed to be like what he felt when he was watching that. Like it's just really uncomfortable because at the very end, the Gygas screen it's red and black and it swirled and it looks terrible. Like it looks
like a fetus at one point. It's really weird.
Yeah,
a lot of people point that fetus out, and
I mean, he said it wasn't intentional, but whether it was or not, it happened. It looks that way, and it adds to the creepiness because you are fighting what ultimately is like this almost like Lovecraftian abstract terror that is just unknowable. Like this, your main enemy at the end doesn't have a body anymore, and they'll say things about his attacks like you can't fathom or understand the nature of his attack, but you lose this many hit points. Like that's really a very scary thought to me.
Yeah. Well, and the whole because you're a robot at the end, and when you're walking up it looks like entrails.
Travel back in time is a whole bunch of weird fucking shit.
Yeah,
but
you go everywhere.
right when you get into it, though, a lot of people have pointed out that it looks like the entrance is a vagina.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely
there's
does.
that.
And some of us see those everywhere,
Or
but this is one of
butthole.
those places where they actually are.
Butthole Ness's face in it.
Yeah. Yes.
And that fucking motherfucker Pokey, or whatever the hell his name is.
Oh yeah, you have to battle Pokey. Pokey becomes, well, spoiler if you haven't played this, which I'm sure. Yeah. Anyway, so Pokey becomes one of the main villains. He's your neighbor, but he's kind of a dick through the whole game, and his family's kind of a dick. Like,
Yeah, because they're lending your dad money and shit, and
yeah, and they I don't know, they're just not very nice people. So you kind of should see that Pokey's going to be your rival through the whole game.
Yeah, he's kind of just Augustus Gloop from Willy Wonka. That's the way I imagine him. Like this very rotund little blonde kid that's spoiled. And
I want some chocolate.
yeah, exactly.
Daddy, I want it now.
And he just wants power, I guess, over time. But he ends up being the main villain in Mother 3,
Oh,
the
you
sequel
just
to
killed
this.
me. That's great.
Yeah. Back to the phone calls and stuff that you have to make. There's also the Escargot Express,
Right.
where you can call them and they'll come running up out of wherever you are. They're going to come running through the screen. It doesn't matter if there's a wall there. They're just going to run through everything. And you can give them a couple of items and they'll store them for you because you have a very limited backpack. You cannot carry very many items.
Yeah, you're not like Dora.
No.
I hate shit like that in games. I want stuff that just holds everything, like in Hammer Space. Or Felix
Yeah.
the Cat's bag. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Bubsy. I'm like, yo, get off the show.
Hey, Felix is the best cat out there. Come on.
Well, Garfield maybe.
Oh, yeah, Garfield, too. I love Garfield.
I can do without Garfield.
Watch it.
Those are fighting words. Those are fighting words.
You're not invited to our lasagna party, sir.
But yeah, you have limited storage, but once you get another party member, once you rescue some of the other members, you can use them for as pack mules and let them carry some of the items. So it's great once you start getting more people in your party to carry some of the junk you have. But what are some of the things that you disliked about this game? Because we're obviously, I think we're all gonna say it's a pretty decent game. But what are some of the stuff that you just flat out disliked?
The difficulty factor in starting the game.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me. Like, I played
It was
this
almost
game.
a turnoff for me. It was fucking hard. Normally in like RPGs, you it's a progression going through, but I found like some points you had to start like again like 3 or 4 times before you got the kick of it. It's like, okay, this game's pretty hard. I better fucking buckle down right now.
Yeah, it really requires, it asks of you, I guess this is just old school RPG stuff, like it expects you to do a lot of grinding. I mean, and that's where I learned to do that in games was probably this game, was I basically was trying to make it to where all the enemies in the area were running from me before I went to the boss, or else I figured I was just going to be fucked otherwise. And that was usually the case. My friend and I didn't have a Super Nintendo when I was a kid. I had a Sega Genesis. That was a big mistake on my part, given my tastes. But we would rent the Super Nintendo from the video store, and we rented Earthbound just because it looked wacky, and we stayed up all night trying to get through, and we barely even left Oneette. Like, we were just plowing through this thing, getting sick as hell from those rambling mushrooms that make you, like, walk the wrong direction and everything. Yep. And I'm so frustrated. I know they are, but that's such a funny game dynamic.
Smash Brothers, man.
I know, man.
You're like, by the end of it, we were just talking about our dads and crying.
Well, my dad did come in his underwear and say, like, you guys are still up? It's 5 a.m. And it was worth it, though. But, like, that's how hard it was for at least 2 13-year-olds, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Some of the things that I disliked is the buying one item at a time. It sucks.
Oh, man.
If you want to buy, like, 4 hamburgers before because that's your health, you got to buy them one at a time. And you have to go back into the menu and buy one at a time. And it's miserable.
Yeah, you're not going to go to McDonald's or wherever, like, In-N-Out, over the fuck awesome places you guys have in the States, and just going, hey, I want 4 burgers. Okay, well, you can only have one at a time. You got to sit in the store and come back in.
That would be great if you had to re-engage.
People don't make money that way.
I didn't like the button layout either. I feel like hitting the left shoulder button on the Super Nintendo controller over and over is annoying. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, because I guess
I kept the hidden menu button like without even knowing it. I'm like doing something like, oh, I'm here now. Nope.
Yeah,
this doesn't do nothing. Okay.
I did the same thing over and over. Now, here's one thing that Mother 1 on the NES had that this game needed. The Mother on NES had a run button.
Yes.
So I don't know why they were just like, we could do without that feature. It didn't do anything to the gameplay. Because there's a part in the game where at the very beginning you get a bike, but you can only use it when you're alone. Mm-hmm. So after you start getting your members, you're rarely ever alone. So you don't ever get a chance to use it.
I almost wonder if this seems like in line with the character of the designer or the creator of this. Itoy, was that his name? I think.
Yeah.
What's that last name though?
Itoy, as in electronic toy.
Tawa?
Yeah, there you go. I almost feel like it would be in his character to say, I don't want them to run around. I want them to take in the scenery and the game, the atmosphere of the game. It's not meant to be played fast.
That's true.
Hey, Bubble Monkey. That fucking monkey. He's a dick.
He is a dick.
A lot of dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
There's a lot of dick. It's so funny. Like, we're sitting here talking about how great this game is and everything, and then we're like, but there's so many dicks in this game.
There is.
Well,
There's a lot of assholes.
Well, and keep in mind that Gygus is affecting a lot of people who are prone to being affected by negative energies. They're becoming even bigger dicks as a result.
Right.
Yeah, that's why everybody is such an asshole.
So we just gotta beat an asshole to kill some dicks. That's all we gotta do.
There you go.
Story of life.
Story of my life.
For sure.
I guess we should have pointed that out in the story, is that everyone is acting crazy because of Gygus'
Yeah, you tame them after you beat them. They're like, oh, this is tame now.
Oh, yeah, they don't say you killed anyone or anything.
This car is tame.
the stop sign is tamed.
Just a couple wild cars out in the streets.
Oh, man. But yeah, and then the money in the ATM, that's annoying. And then the inventory screen, it's annoying because if Ness is holding the Traveler Charm or whatever it is, you cannot just put it on Paula. You have to give it to her, and then you can equip it. It's such a pain in the ass just trying to get around some of the stuff. So it's got its flaws.
But it has the Blues Brothers, man. Come on.
It's got more than that.
The Runway 5. Yeah, it's got a lot.
I call them the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, and you get to see not one, but two, maybe three 16-bit musical festivals from them that are just so fun. It's just little sprites on screen jumping back and forth.
There's some rip-off music in there, too, you can hear from...
Oh, yeah. The Beatles.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some more on that here in a minute for the fun facts, so don't spoil it all.
Got it. Well, with the, not only are the Blues Brothers in there, but just as regular NPCs walking around, you have Jason Voorhees, or someone who looks very much like him.
Yes,
and
just sitting in the garden.
And just hanging out. He's not crazy. He's just a man in a hockey mask and a jumpsuit. But also, Mr. T is hanging around, too. And these are just normal characters you would just talk to. They're not even important.
He's always just chilling, though.
Yeah, he is on the streets.
He's chilling these days.
Yeah.
Nobody pities a pixel.
What about the music and the sound effects for this game?
Music is great. The music is amazing. It what they accomplish with such, you can only do so much on 16 bits. And so what they accomplish with it to have really catchy stuff, like I love walking into a room and hearing the dumb reggae that they play at the time. I love
just the dumbest.
The dumb reggae. Everything's got this kooky or I guess whimsical quality about it, partly because it is MIDI music, but some of it is truly beautiful. And I love the melodies that they have that are at each location that you're collecting when you put them together. And the fact that it seems like music was really important to them because you learn these melodies and it will bring a memory back to you, whether it's a smell or a sight or something. And it's almost like they're ascribing magical qualities just to music at large. And I would say that they actually kind of capture that with the music that they put in the thing. And they've also just got some fat beats in there.
We all say that Pooh's Palace music fucking kicks ass.
We can agree on that for sure. And the bicycle music. The bicycle music's great.
See, I didn't get the bicycle this time around, so I don't remember, because I knew it was useless, so I don't remember what it sounds like.
My first playthrough, my only playthrough, because this game's fucking long as shit. But the music was a little bit quirky at first when you're going through the first town, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? It's like, bing, bong, bing. It's like, but then it got progressively better after that.
I love Mr. Saturn's music.
I love everything about Mr. Saturn.
Oh, we need to touch on that real quick. I think it's Mr. Saturn. you have to stand in front of a waterfall for 3 minutes to unlock the area.
You have to stand still.
Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, stand still for 3 minutes, legit 3 minutes, and just stand there.
Go grab a coffee
Yeah,
or
it's your bathroom break.
Yeah, just go piss or whatever. Like, just leave it and walk back. You'll be fine. But it's not immediately apparent. Nobody just instructs you, go stand there. It's kind of hinted at. So... But
It's like Zelda when you're just clicking on a random rock, like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, but this game will fuck with you like that. Like, whether it's standing in front of the thing or switching from your two characters that you've had for 20 hours already to, what is his name, Jeff, who is a brand new character to you, all the way over in another area, and you basically start over. Like, that's...
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
Yeah, it's like Lost as a game before there was Lost, almost.
But yeah, I think the music's great. It's got some... when the music's not very good, it makes up for it 10 times, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if there is a bad, like, song or a beat or something like that, you've got 10 good songs for every bad song. Or sound effect or something.
Yeah.
But in fact, I use the sound effects from Earthbound a lot on this show for the intros and stuff. So in the earlier episodes, it's a lot of Earthbound because they have such cool sound effects.
They do.
So,
and the music itself includes a lot of things that are more sound effect or sound designy than just music. There's even like digitized voices in there, I think, sometimes, which I don't even understand how that happens on a 16-bit platform, but I really don't understand it. But like, it's a cool, you'll hear something that's just like, and it's actually a person's voice, but it sounds like shit. And it's kind of cool because of it. They use a lot of stuff like that.
Well, is there anything else that we want to touch on, or do we want to jump into some fun facts about this game?
One question here, guys. So I'm a novice when it comes to gaming. So I know this. I know that this was re-released, right? Recently?
Yes.
Have y'all played that on the whatever, like on the Wii? Or
oh no, this hasn't been re-released like as a newer game. It was just put on the Super Nintendo Classic.
Maybe
It's just the same game over again.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's just the same. It's not like a remaster or a remake, which would be kind of like touching it up or changing it somehow.
Gotcha.
This is literally just them throwing
So it was the same thing.
It's just the
re-released?
same game.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if there was anything different. That was,
I gotcha. No, I wish.
Yeah.
The game, I mean, the whole series is like the guy's done with it apparently, but it's got such a big fan following that there are fans that were trying to make Mother 4. And then Nintendo stepped in and said, "Nuh-uh." And
not in my town.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, people would be clamoring for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't really find out about the NES character until Super Smash Brothers on Nintendo 64. So they were kind of late to the party, and they were like, "What is this guy? And where is he from?"
Yeah, I'm putting my hand up right there.
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know about it until
the lore of the game. I just never really got into it.
Yeah.
Too busy with Mega Man, fucking around with my Mega Buster.
I remember going to like the Toys R Us and stuff and seeing that huge box. And I remember specifically, and I know this was a couple years later because this came. I think this was 3 or 4 years before Pokemon came out. I remember being at Walmart and seeing the big Earthbound box and being like, "I want Pokemon," and just being like, "What is that big box?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's because it just did not sell very well here in the States.
Probably should have bought all of them and hold on to them.
Oh,
yeah, they're like $500 or something now, right? On eBay? Yeah.
Well, here, we'll jump into the fun facts, and I'll tell you exactly how much this will cost you. So, the first fun fact we go over is the price, because I'm a video game
fuck you,
collector.
Toby.
Oh, what?
Welcome to Fun Facts with Toby.
So,
Toby,
the first fun fact we have
Sorry.
is... The first fun fact we have is the price of the game, because this is a very expensive game nowadays. If you're trying to find a physical copy, a loose cartridge, just loose, loosey goosey.
We know
nothing
loose.
else.
Yeah, loose.
Travis and I know
here.
about loose.
Oh, yeah.
It's $185 for the Super Nintendo loose.
That's
Copy
American,
of this
so it's
game.
probably at least 7 G's up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys' comics were always more expensive than ours.
Everything's more expensive.
I know.
Including our hookers.
Oh man.
So if you seek this game out in box, and when I'm talking about the big box a minute ago, the reason it came in a big box is because it had a strategy guide with it. And they put them together because I'm going to tell you now, you're going to need the strategy guide when you're playing this. Otherwise, you won't figure out the 3 minutes in front of the
Did it come
waterfall.
with like scented pizza or something too?
Yeah.
No. So the advertisements that they had for this game, when you'd open up like a Nintendo Power, they had scratch and sniffs. And I remember smelling those, and like there's a puke one.
Yes.
Because of the puke bad guy. And oh, they were all terrible. And the whole ad campaign was, this game stinks.
It's like Primus if it were a video game. Like, if they're trying to bank on the fact, it's like, you guys probably won't like this, so let's just say we suck, and you're going to enjoy this for that reason.
Well, we got a big brown beaver.
Well, and also, what I liked about the game guide, what I remember, is that they had, like, what looked like clay figures of a lot of the characters. They looked three-dimensional, like what would now be a render, but I think they were actually clay creations. So to look in the game guide, if nothing else, was like a cool art piece.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, back to how much this game is in box with that strategy guide. Do you want to take a guess? Does anyone know? Because if you know, don't guess.
Let's go 700.
700? Well, you're pretty damn close. It's going for about $650 right now.
Money, dollar.
Get this, though. The box by itself, if you just have that big giant box,
$200.
$295.
Shit.
Whoa! So,
And if you've got that strategy guide by itself, $100.
ooh! Oh, I thought everyone was going to say woo.
Yeah, that was down to that again.
Oh, man. We deal with shit like that a lot on the show. Like, people love boxes for things that don't contain anything.
And one shoe from Jim and the Holograms. Just one right shoe. $5. Holler at your boy.
So this game took almost 5 years to make. This in Japan is actually called Mother 2. We should have touched on that earlier, but this is the second game in the Mother series. For some reason, it was renamed Earthbound here. Yeah.
It's a weird name for a game for an American kid. Like, if you're buying it as a kid, you probably already in that period where you hate your mom, if you didn't already, so you're less likely to buy the game. Don't name it Parents.
No,
leave me alone. I wanna play some
you'd
video
buy it,
games.
bring it home and smash it in front of her.
There you go.
Both listening to, like, My Chemical Romance or something. For those, like, younger emo kids, I guess. I'd probably smash it listening to Guns N' Roses, because I'm older.
I was going to say Nirvana.
Yeah, it smells like
How much older are you? Wait a second.
I'm 35, fucker.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we're all in the same range, I'm pretty sure.
No, Toby's young.
I'm 30.
What?
We got to go. Well, let's talk over here
Okay,
for a
I'm
second.
joining their show now, Toby.
Yeah.
I'm part of the
The 35s.
Tooncast.
Just sitting around pumping Guns N' Roses for the first 10 minutes of our pod.
Toby works in porno, and then that goose is not around.
So this game was almost canceled several times, apparently, because of the 5 years it took to make. A fully translated version of the first Mother was produced by Nintendo of America for the NES, but it was canceled before its release. The game was retooled in a lot of ways than the Japanese version, but
It
was
became Mario
canceled
Brothers 1.
No. Well, it was canceled just due to the expensive costs of all the extras they wanted to include, because they wanted to do a book similar to what they ended up doing with Earthbound. So we never got Mother 1.
That cartridge actually escaped into the wild many years later, didn't it?
Yes, I think there's a couple of copies. You can get the ROM for it.
And that's where that came from, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. And it looks funny. I think the front face cover is like cut out and you can see the board. It's really weird. Something I think it's the same game.
Can I add a fun fact here?
Yeah. Hit me.
Okay, during like the part where you get knocked out and you go into your own brain, in the American version you're clothed.
Yes.
And you're wearing pajamas. In the Japanese version, you're not. You're naked.
And your penis is a squid.
Yes.
Shout out.
Technicals for days.
And guess what? Your penis is your butt. Yeah,
Where do I poop? Where do I pee?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had seen that. I was looking at some stuff recently too, and I saw that, and I kind of wish that's what it would have been. If that's what he wanted, I'm sure there was a reason.
Oh yeah, because you get knocked out, you're gonna be in your birthday suit, right? Because you normally wake up naked after you're like blackout drunk or whatever.
Goops, do you need to report anything?
Uh-oh. The reporter's
Not at all,
on your
sir.
trail.
Not at
No,
all.
sir, all good. Pass it on.
Well, there are over 100 pieces of music in this game, and apparently, I guess it was reported that it could fit on 2 CDs because there were so many like different tracks. But I think they eventually did release it on 1 CD, so I don't know. I don't know what's true there.
I read a similar thing. I think they also created a lot more music than they actually ended up using in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I take that for what it's worth, I guess. But like whoever did I forget the name of the composer, but he did a lot of work on this. Probably too much.
yeah, I bet so. Which is crazy that it all fit on this
just
cartridge.
playing all sorts of music.
Yeah.
So the Mr. Saturns, the weird text that their language, their words and the
Swear
text
words.
bubbles are. Yeah. So in English and the Japanese version, they're like so. Well, in the Japanese version, it's the creator's daughter's handwriting. And I think they tried to mimic it for the English version, but in the Japanese version, it's his daughter's handwriting at the time, which I thought was kind of cool, you know?
Yeah.
And Mr. Saturn is supposed to be a symbol of innocence because, you know, they're just little weird.
I just thought they were swearing all the time.
No, it's actually like just a weird handwriting for their dialogue.
I
Fuck
love
you,
that.
Ness. Okay.
Okay, sorry, buddy. I love. I mean, they're very cute, and that they're in Smash Brothers is like a wonderful thing too.
They can whoop them at people.
Exactly, and they make the little or whatever it is they do. I forget what noise do they make. They don't sound too worried about it, but they're just so they somehow encapsulate in these little 2D sprites, and the way that they're just drawing or doing their handwriting, it makes them very. I don't know. I love them. I'm very endeared towards them, and they just seem incredibly dumb, though, to me. I know they're supposed to hold a lot of wisdom, but they just I love how. I don't know. They're like the noble savage, that bad, that bad trope.
Frickin', what kind of fish is that? It's like a lumpfish or something. He's like really has a big nose and everything. I can't think of the name right now. Damn it.
Travis, you're our aquarium guy.
I am, but I'm out on this one.
You're out on this
buddy.
one. Sorry.
It's a very ugly fish. Has a big nose and just looks like him.
It's a Saturn fish, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's an Earthbound.
Yeah.
Asaurus.
Yeah.
Seaman.
Toby, you were talking about his daughter's handwriting for that. I was reading about how he says one of the reasons he doesn't need to do any more Mother games is because he actually created them to represent and or kind of communicate with his daughter. That was his way of being alongside her or communicating with her emotionally or something to that effect.
He's like, and
very
I'm rich, bitch. Cha-ching.
I don't know if he is.
Oh.
I mean, these games are popular in Japan. I just don't really know. I wouldn't know.
Well, he was like a movie star or something. Like he was actually famous before he even made these games, and like he had to kind of beg Nintendo to let him create these games, from what I understood, because they were like, I don't know, you're just a star. You don't know anything about game making.
It's like if Tom Cruise said, "I got an idea for a great RPG," and you're just like, "Yeah, hit me with it."
Sit down, buddy.
Yeah.
Pull up
It's
a
called a
seat.
blobfish. I figured it out.
Blockfish.
Blobfish.
Well, you're worried about that fish. I want to play the Tom Cruise video game now.
I mean, I'm
Is it
sure it would be a
possible?
thinly veiled Scientology game, like Xenu. You're playing Xenu. That's your character. You're trying to
He
liberate
starts
everybody
off
else,
jumping on Oprah Winfrey's couch.
and you have to balance it.
Oh, so some of the songs used in this game that y'all were talking about earlier, some of the similar ones are Tequila by the Champs,
Oh,
Johnny Be Good
Pee Wee
by
Herman
Chuck
should have
Berry.
jumped out and started dancing.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band by the Beatles, and this caused a lot of issues. Well, this is what
Well,
was
there's also a yellow submarine in the game, too, so it's also another shadow to the Beatles.
But as they say,
Right.
it just happens to be yellow. They
Yeah.
even say that in the game.
well, and Nintendo. I think the rumor was the reason Nintendo took so long to get it onto the Wii Virtual Store and some of the other platforms like the Nintendo 3DS is because the rumor was Nintendo didn't know how to get around those copyright.
Busy writing checks.
Yeah. But then they eventually released it, and I guess it wasn't a problem. I don't know.
Yeah,
so
I've heard it I've heard that, and then I've also read reports that wasn't the case. I mean, when it comes to, and I'm real rusty on like copyright law when it comes to music stuff, but unless they're actually physically sampling it or they are literally note for note recreating something, if they're just kind of approximating the feel, which I thought they were more doing, then it's kind of hard to go after like a 16-bit version that is just kind of similar to these things.
You don't want the wrath of Paul McCartney to get on you, though. Buddy.
You don't want
he
doesn't even own his own
Or
songs.
Metallica if you're Napster.
Oh no, you don't want that.
He's super angry now.
What you don't want is Nintendo to come after you. That's the real problem.
Okay.
But I've heard the
There's gonna be a
samples.
couple releasing all the ROMs because you're fucked.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah, that's more the problem. But yeah, I've heard it both ways, so I don't know what to believe or who to trust.
right.
Goddamn mystery.
Well, a minute ago, y'all were talking about some of the differences, like Goobs was talking about the being naked and being in pajamas. There was some simple stuff that was changed, like in the Japanese version on one of the stores, it says drug for drugstore, and they changed it to shop in the English version. In Mother 2, the town of Forside, a building says bar, but in the Earthbound version, it says cafe, and they don't talk about drinking. They talk about their coffee or lattes or something. I don't remember what it talks about, but they change it completely. They removed crosses from the Earthbound version, but I thought it had to do with like religion and stuff. But they even took the red cross that was on the hospital sign off because they were afraid of the American Red Cross actually suing them for using a red cross.
Right.
Or about Jesus suing them.
You know the insane cultist enemies in Happy Happy Village?
I love those guys.
Yeah, so in the Japanese version, they have HH or something written on their head. But they look like,
really?
They look like blue cult members, or blue KKK members.
But the HH on their head, like, is Hail Hitler. It's like... That doesn't...
I would have even guessed at that. Yeah. When they
jumped that pretty fast.
They're Goobs.
Goobs, I don't know if you want to talk about something real fast.
He's Canadian. It can't
I'm
be
a
true.
big history buff, so...
Yeah.
Well, see, and I didn't even think about that, but yeah, so they took the HH off, and it may have been two different letters, but I'm sure it was HH.
No, I think it was.
But because they do look like blue KKK members, they added a little fluff ball, like a Santa's hat.
Like a pom-pom.
To the end of their hats.
Yeah.
So it's Angry Santa, Anti-Santa.
They all look like they're going to go take a nap afterwards, basically. Yeah, a long winter's nap.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a Mother 3 being planned for the Nintendo 64, but the team was new to the 3D technology that was available at the time. So they ended up scrapping it, but they did have like a bunch of test animations and stuff like that. But it got used for the Game Boy Advance Mother 3, which was only released in Japan, but there are English patches that do exist, and there's also repos where you can get a English version, and you can get the English version of the NES cartridge of Mother 1. Mm-hmm. So the repos, they're not the legit thing, but you can get them.
Not a bad price.
I remember when the 64 Mother 3 was being not so much advertised, but was like making its rounds on whatever the internet looked like at that time. And I had played this game, and I knew that was coming out. And they were also talking about what eventually became Zelda: The Ocarina of Time, and those were supposed to be on the disc drive. You know, the thing that never came out here and failed in Japan that would attach to the 64. And I was so excited that they were going to make a 3D Earthbound, because my friend who got me into RPGs always gave me shit that Earthbound didn't look good compared to, like, I guess Final Fantasy 6 or whatever, which frankly, it's all 16-bit graphics and it was good design. So fuck it. He's wrong. But like, to see it in 3D, it just looked like really quirky and weird, and it looked awesome to me. And they were talking about all these things like, hey, if you do this early in the game, then when you come back, you chop down a tree. Now it's got moss on it and all sorts of like crazy shit that we only now can do in video games. They were trying to bite off more than they could chew, but I was so sad they finally canceled it in 2000 and just said, yeah, this isn't going to happen. And I was in the hospital for a while.
Well, that's really all I've got for the fun facts portion of this. So I guess it's time to do the rage meter.
Let's do it. Let's rage.
Oh, come on!
So this is our patented rage meter, where we take a 1 to 10 scale on how pissed off and irritated this game makes us.
Does it make us want to beat our mothers? Talk about the game, not our actual physical mothers.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Who wants to go first on what kind of rage this game gives you?
I'll go first. No one else
Okay,
spoke up.
Goose.
I'm going to give this a solid 7, because this game fucking blows.
Oh,
Holy
when you're
shit.
starting. Yeah, no, I'm going out hard. Fuck the sharks. Fuck the stop signs. Fuck the cars. Fuck not having friends for a while because I'm lonely here. Fuck Pokey. Or Ed Picky or whatever the fuck his name is too. Fuck the meteorite. Fuck the big spider
Gaius.
guy in the first level. Fuck
Goose,
the,
it sounds
the
like you
carnival
just got
people.
fired from Earthbound and you're just telling everybody off before you're clearing out your desk.
He's like, Will, are you with
Yeah.
Earthbound? Fuck
Yeah,
you too.
Fuck you too.
I was gonna say, Pooh, you're cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, this game is very hard. Like I said before, just leveling up is just such a bitch in this. Like, I'm used to grinding. I grind all the time. Just ask my wife, Jenny, because I'm just all over that shit.
Can we have Jenny's number, please, sir? I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'm gonna cross the line there.
He wasn't kidding.
No, that's the truth. But she's going to be listening to this, by the way, and she'll probably laugh at that, and I'll get an angry message after. But yeah, no, this game is just, like, so, like, just grueling in the beginning of it. And it just keeps on going that way unless you get too powerful, and the animal's just like, run away from this beastly man and his 4 friends, or 3 friends, because that's what happens. So they have bottle rockets, run! Yeah, no, I'm sticking with my solid 7 on this game. 7 inches of pain for Earthbound.
For that grind.
For that grind. 7 inches of grind.
well, would you guys want to go next?
Sure.
I know only one of you have played.
But you know what? I can give it a. We're going 1 to 10, right? 10 being the.
Yeah, 1 to 10. We're simple folk.
Gotcha. Over here too. All right, so I'm going to give it a 10 for me because here's the deal.
Because you want to beat Goobs.
Yeah, a little bit. There's a lot of reading going on here. I haven't read a book. I haven't read a book since 1999. So
Or 1990X.
yeah, there you go. So that right there is a little off-putting for me.
You're like,
Solid 10, and I'm out.
yo, if I wanted to read a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Kill a Mockingbird was the last time I checked in there. So yeah,
Good one to
that's all
go
I
out
got.
on. Oh, wow.
10.
Well, I think that's the first 10 on the game. That's
Oh shit!
Wow.
It's the first
Here we
time
go.
page, I love
Wait,
it.
hold on. 9.5. Here we go. 9.5.
No. You don't get a second take. It's
Hey,
10.
You can't pull goobs.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
we like to change our
I'll own
score
it.
all the time. So
I'll own
9.5 is acceptable. Well, what do you got?
I am gonna say, having played through this game, mostly the first half of it a few times, and then just beating it the one time, it for me is like a 4 because I'll still get very frustrated, like I said, with the rambling mushrooms when I have to press up to go down and all that shit, and the grinding gets a little in the way.
Ramble mushrooms are dicks too.
They are. They're just smiling as they do it, as they get you sick. They're like children.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah, but other than that, like, I kind of just expect the grind at this point, so these days it's really not too rageful for me. It's more enjoyable than rageful. So rage meter 4 out of 10.
4. That's not bad. I was going to give it a 5 if I don't have a strategy guide sitting in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I have
Good point.
If I have a strategy guide, I'm gonna give it about a 3, just because you do have to do a lot of grinding.
What
And
your save states, Toby?
hey, save states are beautiful. I love save states. But yeah, no, it's. I like the battle system, so it's not like I ever got super frustrated. But like I said, the strategy guide is a beautiful thing. So a 3 on the rage meter for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So So, now is the part of the show where we give a 1 to 10 rating on what we thought of the game overall. Did we love it? Did we hate it? 10 being the best. Who wants to go first?
I'll step in.
I really feel like this is all going to be high numbers, and this is going to take our number one spot. Oh, I spoke way too soon or too late because you
7.5.
answered. What is it?
7.5.
7.5. You just made the entire internet gasp at that score. Everyone just said fuck Goobs.
Goobs, they're coming for you, man.
Then fuck you, 8.5. I'll go up.
Anything to keep the people happy.
Yeah.
No, give it what
on my head.
You don't let them tell you what to do, Goobs. You just give
I
it whatever you
tell me
want.
what to do. I stuck my hand in mouse traps before.
Yes, you have.
That's real specific, so I believe it.
So, are you giving it a 7.5 or?
No, I'll go 8.5. This is a very solid RPG. Tons of quirkiness here, which I love. Tons of character, and you cannot beat this game. For like the SNES like RPGs, like Super Mario RPG is up there for me, like as the greatest of the greats. But this one, it can follow very closely behind it, so I praise it. Even though I like Fuzzy Pickles now. I cannot deny I have a few Fuzzy Pickles in my mouth as I'm recording this podcast.
But that's just your typical weekend, Goobs.
Well, I got 3 members in my party. You gotta keep the pickles warm, right?
There you go.
Sounds like you got 3 members in your mouth.
Yeah, maybe the case.
Just begrudgingly. Yeah, I guess I do.
Will, what do you think?
It's a 9 for me. I know that I attach a lot of nostalgia to this game, but I also know that it is good whether I have the memories I do of it or not. There are things that stand in the way, like I said, like playing an old-style JRPG. As much as I love these games and know that they're high quality, there's just a lot that stands in the way that, makes it not as enjoyable. But as importance, and it is just really fun. And all the little things that are thrown in, the quirks, not just in the character, but also in the actual usual JRPG stuff, the battles and everything, that really puts it up there. And I think it does a lot as just an art piece, if nothing else.
Yeah. Do you want to give it a score, Travis?
You know what? Thank you. I want to give it a 10. I'm going to go 10 again, guys. Listen, I don't want to stray too far from my last one.
You're going to max it out.
Yeah, I'm going to max it out. I'm giving it a 10 because...
I love you, Travis.
Thank you so much.
You're the best.
So, at first glance, I didn't think there was much to this game. But after talking with y'all and kind of hearing more, it sounds like a really...
You've convinced me.
Yeah, you convinced me. It's a deep game, man.
When I come on your guys' show with Toby, I'm not going to watch the episode.
Yeah.
We're going to be convincing you how good it is, though.
I'm just going to go for it.
10, it sounds great. I'll never play it, but man, I have respect for it. Drop the mic.
I like it.
Yeah.
And fuck you, Will, for putting your partner into this, man. I'm speaking for you, Travis.
Thank you.
Fuck you, Will.
Thank you. As you throw Fuzzy Pickle at his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of them.
There you go.
Haven't shaved in a while. Take my Fuzzy Pickle.
Oh, gross. Ooh. So I'm going to give this game a 9 also. I think this game has so much character. There's a few frustrating things, but I don't think there's too many, quote, perfect games. It's got so much character. There's just a lot of fun and weird crap to do in this game. And I played it, let's see, I probably played it in 2005 or 6, so I was probably 20-ish or so, 20-something. So I was
7 years old, you young buck.
I was really late to this game specifically, and like I said, my first introduction to NES was the Super Smash Brothers game, so I don't have the nostalgia for it. But it is a solid game, and I think anyone that's a video game collector or just loves video games, this should be. You should at least play a couple hours of it.
That's why it's worth so much fucking money.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So, yep, I'm giving it a 9. And, yeah.
8.5, a 9, and a 9, and a 10.
And a 10. So it is going to be the highest ranked one, maybe?
It's going to be close to it.
Yeah. You ruined the curve, Travis.
I want to go 11 with it, guys. You're lucky I dialed it back just a little bit.
Why don't you do the spinal taps? Turn it up to 11.
I was convinced as fuck.
We have fuzzy cucumbers in our pants.
For this game.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Okay, so this is the part of the show where we just talk about our projects and promote ourselves and everything. We will let our guests go first. Will you tell us where we can find your show and social media and all that good stuff?
Because we are Southern gentlemen. Go ahead, y'all.
Thank you, y'all.
Tumbleweeds attacking.
So you can find the Days Past Tooncast.
If you guys, seriously, if you guys see tumbleweeds, send me pictures. Toby does. I want to see more pictures of tumbleweeds.
Okay. We got jackalopes down here, too.
Yo, fuck off.
Golly.
So you can find the Days Past Tooncast on just about anywhere you can find podcasts, namely Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Podbean. All of these places. Days Past Tooncast. You can find us on Twitter at DPTooncast. Gmail, you can email us, dptooncast@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/DPTooncast.
Mm-hmm. And you also check out our rap music video on YouTube. It's a parody mashup of 1992's X-Men animated series theme, mixed up with Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back. Just search Days Past Tooncast on YouTube. The video is called X-Men Attack, double up, And you can also find a lot of horse poop in Texas too, everybody. What? What'd you say?
He said he can get behind that.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. And in front of it.
If you go to a movie trading company, you can also find their stickers sometimes.
Yeah, depending on which one.
Yeah.
And which manager's on duty.
Unfortunately, not up in Canada.
Oh, buddy, we'll send you something.
Goobs, you want to tell us about all your other fun projects that you do?
Oh, touch on my shit, brother. Here I come back again as the Goobs Hulkster. Go check out the derailers, and the train's gonna run off the track every single week. And if not, you know what? The train goes off the track. Who knows when it's gonna come back on track? But we goddamn kill it every time you listen to us, brothers. It has my wonderful wife Jenny Bean and my best friend Ripkin on the show, and we just we jump on. We talk about who knows what the fuck we're gonna talk about. We definitely don't. And we have a lot of fun doing so. We hope you have a lot of fun listening. Go check out the Derailers at the Derailers at Twitter. And if you want to get some fired up action in your life, brother, go check out Derailed Wrestling on YouTube. Me and Ripkin sit down, do commentary, make a whole bunch of roster people on WWE 2K19, which is coming out shortly on our site there. The game's already out, but it takes a lot of time to make characters and do a whole bunch of shit and make matches for your eyes to enjoy. So go check that out on YouTube at Derailed Wrestling. Yes. I can't do my own promos properly.
Well, and then for me, I also do the Secret Transmission podcast. We do a satire look at the paranormal. I forgot. We talk about so much stuff. I forgot. The government has made me forget. Cryptozoology, serial killers, anything that's weird and spooky. We look into it and we talk about it. Fun stuff. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Secret Transpod or on all the major podcasting platforms. But let me tell you about this show, this Secret Levels podcast show. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Secret Levels Pod. We are on Facebook. Look us up. We also have a group where you can chit-chat video games with us called Secret Levels Group. Come join us. Talk about
and pick the
anything.
games we're going to play.
Yeah, we have a game of the month. You can pick it and make us play something good or something terrible. Please make us play terrible things. Goobs loves it.
Yeah, pick my picks. They're fucking terrible at best.
Now, Toby, can you go back and go ahead and do that all in the Hulk voice?
Yeah. If we're doing Hulk voices,
yeah.
I need to do mine again. I'll tell you what, brother.
Look how high I can swing on the swings.
Toby! Catch the ball.
That's cool, Toby.
Catch the ball.
Catch this. This is fun.
Oh. There's a van.
Look how high I can swing on the swing, guys.
That's awesome, dude.
Let me push you further.
Hey, kids! You guys like Fuzzy Pickles?
Huh? What?
Excuse me?
Who are you?
You're not our teacher.
I'm a photographer. I'm supposed to take pictures of you guys while you're swinging around and having fun. You know, Fuzzy Pickles.
You're supposed to.
Like you're hired by the school or what? I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I'm not hired by the school. I just show up, I float down in my white van, yeah, throw candy at you and just take pictures. Fuzzy Pickles.
Where's the candy at? You haven't showed the candy.
Well, the candy's in the van. Fuzzy Pickles.
We're not supposed to be talking to strangers.
I don't get this whole thing you're doing right now. I'm just kind of scared.
Everyone say Fuzzy Pickles.
I'm not sure. I kind of guy who looks a lot like you on this video they played in the class.
No, that's not me at all. That's not me at all. That's Fuzzy Cucumbers. I'm Fuzzy Pickles.
No, it was you exactly. He's wearing that shirt and everything.
And he said everything you just said. Exactly. Candy, van, pictures, Fuzzy Pickles.
Just say cheese. I mean Fuzzy Pickles. Fuzzy Pickles. Fuzzy Pickles.
What?
I can't do this right now.
I think we need to call someone. Does anyone have their phone on them?
Yeah. I'll take care of him. Just you guys distract him.
Tell
Like
me
say
what-
you're gonna take the picture or something.
Tell me, why are you still swinging?
Everyone just smile. Just smile. Helicopter for me. Fuzzy Pickles.
Yeah, hello, please.
Game over, folks.